Hello, I am petroonishchuk. Today is this video of my series of videos where I try to create to-do app by using SwiftUI and Firebase. In the previous video, I had ability to create and save tasks in Firebase Firestore. And now, in this video, I want to add method for updating first name, last name and email in Firebase Firestore and also update email in Firebase Authentication. And also, I want to add method for updating a task, text and state of the task. And after I make the changes, I must have this app at the end of the video. Now with this app I can update data of the user. I can update first name, last name and email. This is our user view. This is our edit user view. Now I update our last name. You can see we can update our last name. Again, first name and email. And now you can see I update first name, last name and email. And now I show you how you can update first name, last name and email in Firebase Firestore. And also when we change our email, we can change our email in our Firebase Authentication. When we move to our Firebase Authentication, we have our new email with value Thompson55505. That means when we change email in our Firebase Firestore, we also change email in our Firebase Authentication. And also in this video I add method for change our task. We can change state of our task and also we can change text of our task. Let's move to our task. This is our user Tom Thompson. Sublist to-do list. We have a two tasks. First task is true. Second task is false. That means second task is not completed. And now I update second task. Now our second task also true. Now our second task is false. Now I update test on second task. And also you can see we successfully update our task. In our application we have a new value and also in our Firebase Firestore we also have a new value. These changes I will add in this video for update users data and also for update our tasks. Okay, let's start with the project. First, I want to add a new method to MyAppViewModel. I want to add method for updating the first name, last name and email of the user. And also add method for updating a task, specifically for changing the text of the task and state of the task, from completed to not completed and vice versa. And after I update MyAppViewModel, I start to work with views. Okay, I update MyAppViewModel by add couple method. Let's look at this method. First method what I create check email. With this method will be check email what we want to update for our user in Firebase Authentication. Second method check password. In this time we will not be using this method. We can commit this method. Next method, update user data. With this method, we will be update first name and last name for our user in our Firebase Firestore. Later, when I will be run a simulator, I try to more complex explain how this method works. Move to the next method. Next method, update user email authentication. With this method, we will be update email for our user in our Firebase authentication. Method update user email database. With this method, we will be update email of our user in our Firebase database. Our Firebase database holds our first name, last name, and email for our user. And with this method, we will be update email for specific user in our Firebase database. Next method, update task status. With this method, we will be update our task. This method for change our task is completed to not completed and vice versa. Next method, update task text. With this method, we will be update our task text in our Firebase database. Next, when I will be run a simulator and run our application, I will be more complex explain how these all methods work. But for now, first we must update our view and also create some new view. I want to update our user view and also I want to update our to-do list view. And also I want to create a couple new view. I want to create a new view for update our data for our user and also I want to create a view for update our tasks. And now I start to update our view. And now, after making all updates, I will run our simulator and try to explain what I did. On the left side, I have a simulator and Xcode project. On the right side, I have Firebase project. And now select our Firebase project to do app 01. This is our Firebase authentication with two users what we created previously, Thompson 555 and my email. This is Firebase Firestore. Our Firebase Firestore have collection user. In our collection user, we have a two document for our two user. For my email, petroonishchuk, and also for our Tom Thompson. Our Tom Thompson hold a collection to-do list. Our collection to-do list have a two tasks, first task and second task. And now by using our simulator, try to sign in our application. And now I sign in application by using email thompson555@gmail.com. Now we have our two tasks, first task and second task. These two tasks we created previously. This is our to-do list view. This is our to-do list view with list of our tasks. We have our toolbar with navigation link to our user's view, setting with image gear. When we tap button on our toolbar setting, that means we try to use our navigation link by put value in our navigation link setting. When we move to our root content view, in our root content view we have our navigation stack. And inside our navigation stack, we use our navigation destination. And when we take value setting, that means we want to move to our user's view. That means when we tap this button, we move to user's view. This is our user's view what I created previously with our text view for first name, for last name, and for email. And also we have a button sign out. But on this video I add a new button, Edit User. As you can see, we have a section will hold our navigation link. When we tap to this navigation link, Edit User, that means we put value to our navigation link, My App Main User. That means we put value main user in our navigation link. Let's return to our root content view. In this variant, our navigation destination take string value, sign in, sign up, and set it. And also our navigation destination take value, tasks, about this value I explain later, and also user. This is our user, what we put in our navigation link when we tap button Edit User. How you can see, our navigation destination take this user value, what we put by using our navigation link, and move to our Edit User, by put value to our Edit User View. Let's move to this view. This is Edit User View. This is our new view, what I create in this video. With this view, we have ability to change our first name and last name to our user and also for change our email. Let's start with our first name and last name. How you can see, we have a two text field for first name and last name. We can change our first name and last name by tapping text what we want to change. And also we have a button Update User. When we tap to this button, that means we want to update value in our Firebase Firestore by using a new value, what we tap to our text field. When we tap to button Update User, we try to run method Update User Data. This is our new method, what I create in this video. With this method, we try to update data in our Firebase Firestore. Let's move to this method. We have this method in our MyAppViewModel. Our method takes two parameters, first name and last name. Then inside our method, we take our current user ID, and then by using collection users, because all data placed in our collection users, take document by our current user, in this variant our Tom Thompson, and update our data in our current user using first name, last name, and also we have variables last updated. Last updated data we can use it for look when we last time update this data. For take last data when we update this value, we use field value .server timestamp. If we want, we can display the data in our application. But for now, I don't display this data in this screen. And then after we try to update data in our Firebase Firestore by using our document path and data, what we want to update, we using method update data. This method has escaping closures, and this escaping closure can return an error. This means after we try to run this method, we check an error. If we have an error, this means we don't update data in our Firebase Firestore, and we display this error. If we don't have an error, then we display our alert with data that our updating is successful. And now let's try update our value. This is our data, what we want to update. This is data of our user, first name and last name. Let's add a couple letters. I add junior, and now I tap it Update User. We have our alert, the user update was successful, and in our Firebase Firestore we have our data Tom Thompson Jr. That means our update is successful. But on this screen we can also update our email. But update our email we must also not only in our Firebase Firestore but also in our Firebase Authentication. This is our section with button Update Email. Button Update Email. When we tap this button, we run our method Update User Email Authentication. Because first, when we try to update our email, we must update our email in Firebase Authentication. And then we must update our email in our Firebase Firestore. When we tap this button, that means we want to run this method, Update User Email Authentication. Let's move to this method. This is our new method, what I create in this video. This method is our MyAppViewModel. This method takes one parameter, email. Then inside this method we check our email. I create separated methods for check our email. If our email is correct format. If our email is correct format, we move to the next step. On the next step, we try to update our email by using authentication current user dot update email and put our new email what we want to replace by using our method. Authentication current user update email have escaping closures. Escaping closure run after we try to update our email, and we can have an error. We check if we have an error. If we have an error, that means we display our error and return. If we don't have an error, that means we move to the next step. Next step is update our email of our user in Firebase Firestore. We run this method for update email in our Firebase Firestore after we successfully update our email in our Firebase authentication. Let's move to this method, update user email. This method is similar like our method when we try to update data in our Firebase Firestore but change first name and last name. With this method, we try to change value in our Firebase Firestore, but this method don't take any permit because we will take our email for our Firebase authentication. Because before we run this method, we change our email in Firebase authentication. First, we check our current user, then we take our current user email. We take our email from our current user authentication, current user email. And then by take these two properties, we try to update our data in our Firebase Firestore. Within our database collection user, take our document by our current user ID and then run our method update data by using data email what we take from our Firebase authentication. And also we have value last updated. In this time I also don't display this value, but we can display this value if you want. This value show when we last update this data. Then we check an error. If we have an error, we display our error and return. If we don't have an error, that means we move to the next step. On the next step, we must run our take current user date. This means when we update our email in Firebase authentication and then update our email in Firebase Firestore, we must take this data from our Firebase Firestore and display this data in our application on the our user screen. On this screen, what we see previously. This method I created in previously video, when we take data and display this data in our application. Let's move to this method. As this method explained previously, we take our current user ID, email, create document path, and take data from our Firebase Firestore. Check an error, create our user, by take our first name from our user data and last name, create a new user and assign this user to our main user. This method I created previously and explained previously, but this method we run at the end of our series of methods. When we run this method, that means we will display a new email in our application. And now let's try to update our email. Our email thompson555@gmail.com. And now I want to change our email to thompson55505@gmail.com. Now I tap this button, update email. And now we have an error. Our Firebase authentication for update email want to relogin in our application. And now I try to relogin in our application and try to change our email again. Now I relogin in our application. How you can see our Thompson Jr. what we changed previously. That means our application worked correctly. And now I try to change our email. Now I tap our button update email. And now we relogin in our application and our last name Thompson Jr. This is last name we changed previously. And now we try to change our email. I move to our EditUserView. I add 05 thompson55505@gmail.com. And now I try to update our email. That means after I tap this button, I must change value in our document in our Firebase Firestore on the end. But before this, I must change this value in our Firebase authentication. How you can see, we change our email thompson55505 and also our property last updated have value when we last update our data. Let's move to our Firebase authentication. This is our Firebase authentication. In our Thompson555, now Thompson55505. That means we successfully update our data in our Firebase Firestore. And now I change back. And now again, email is Thompson555. This is I show you how you can update user in your application. For this I create a new EditUserView and also update our users view and update our root content view for create our navigation destination for our main user. This is what the update for our user. And now what the update for our task. Let's move to our to-do list view. This is our to-do list view. This is our task. In this video, I create a new view, EditTaskView, for change text for our task, and also I want to change date of our task. That means our task can be completed or not completed. This is our to-do list view. And now for display a list I use it for each, but inside for each I put our navigation list. That means when we tap to our task, that means we move to our new view. How you can see, I put in our navigation list value task. And now move to our root content view. In our root content view, we have navigation destination for our task. We take our task and move to our EditTaskView. With this view, we can edit our task. That means when I tap to our task, I move to this view. This is simply view for edit our test task. We have our text field and also we have a button, update text. When we tap to this button, we create a new task and run our method from MyAppViewModel update task text. Let's move to this method. This method from our MyAppViewModel update task text. Our method take one parameter, task object. Then we take our current user ID, create document path for our to-do list for current user. And then by using our path.document update task, we try to update data in our task by using method update data. Text, we take our update task.text. We take this value. And also we have last updated property. This property displays when we last update this value. And after we run our update data method, we have our escaping clauses and take our error. We check if we have an error. If we have an error, this means we display our error. If we don't have an error, we move to the next step. On the next step, we show that we successfully update our text. And on the end, we run our method take task list. With this method, we take back list of tasks from our Firebase Firestore and display this list in our application. This method I created previously because we run this method when we run our application. Take our current ID, document path by using our user collection, to-do list, order by date create, and on the end, when we take our data, we convert this data to array and we assign this array to our all tasks who hold our MyAppViewModel. I created this method previously and also explained this method previously. And now try to update our text by using our button update text. We must update this text. To-do list. We have two tasks, first task and second task. Now update first task. Task number 1. Number 1, 0, 1. Tap update. How we can see, successful update task. And also we have our task 101. That means we successfully update this data. And also we update our property last updated. Tap OK. Return back. And now we return to our task number 1. Okay, this is our view, what we're using for update our task. And also I want to update a state of our task. I can see is completed false because in previous video when we create our task, by default all our task is not completed. And now for update state of our task we must tap this image. We're back to our to-do list view because we will update our state of task in our to-do list view. This is our to-do list view. Navigation link in our image. If our task is completed, our image is filled. Is not completed, our image is not filled. And we add to our image on tab gesture. That means when we tap to our image, we run this method, update task status. Let's move to this method. This method in our MyAppViewModel. This method takes one parameter, task. Then inside our method, we take our current user ID and then we make our task is completed if our task is not complete. For example, when we tap to our task and our task is not completed, this means we convert our task to completed and vice versa. When our task is completed, this means we want to say our task is not completed. And then when we work with our task, we create our path to our task with our users collection and also to-do list. And using our document path.document and for document ID we take our task.id and then we try to update our data. By using update data and data is completed, we put our value and last updated. And then we have our escaping clause. We check our error. If we don't have an error, we move to the next step. If we have an error, we display our error and return. If we don't have an error, we display alert with value successful updated task. And on the end, we also take task of list because when we update this data, we take all lists from our task in our application and display this list in our application again. And now try to update our task. Task number 1. Successful updated task. Okay, how you can see, now our image is filled and data in our Firebase Firestore is true. That means we successfully update our task. We can also update task number 2. Okay, task number 2 true and now false. This is the end of this video. In this video, I make changes in this project that give us ability to change data in Firebase Firestore, users data and task data, and also changes the email Firebase authentication. This is the end of this video. Next 6th video I try to create in short time. This is the end. Thank you for watching.